Hi! We're here, and we're about to start our first adventure of the evening, one which I've entitled, How About a Drink? But before we get into that, as always, we are going to introduce our Fabled Tier adventure. Starting off hot tonight with the Fabled Tier game. So without further ado, we have a veteran hero amongst the lands of DnDTime. We have Anadoltia Bluebeads, Confectia's Porcelain Princess.
Hello, hello.
Now, Anadoltia, tell me, I haven't seen you in a little while. How have you been? What have you been up to?
Oh, this and that. Though me and Sugar did go out on a date during uh last week for heartthrobbing.
Heartthrobbing, is that a holiday native to the land of pastry?
More along lines of Feywild in general. They said they took it from another holiday, though it was something lost in history, something like that. But it's just a day to celebrate, like spending time with your loved ones and
Oh, well,
special
that's
someone.
delightful. I'm glad the two of you. I'm speaking prematurely, I suppose. Did you have fun? Was it a nice day?
Oh, it was a blast. We
Good.
went, we took a walk. We had something to eat at. Uh, Even though it was a little bit kind of cheap, but we went to McMoose Antlers to get something to eat. Then we traveled via fairy circles to the Feywild again, and just like had a little time walking around in one of the areas that pretty much would have been Central City, but in the Feywild at least.
Mm-mm.
And
I mean,
then when we returned, the girls came back and, which to me it was a highlight of the evening. They decided all together that they wanted Sugar to remain in her more humanoid form, because at least to them, having their adopted mothers being smaller than them was a little uncomfortable.
a little unnerving, I suppose. But nonetheless, Anadolcia, I mean, you said it was a bit of a cheap day, but I think what's important is they get to spend time with your loved ones. So I'm glad you've had such a nice rest. So I suppose you're ready now to get back into adventuring once more.
Oh yes, I am. As long as we don't have another one of those trolled off incidents.
I don't think there's going to be any troll dolls tonight, so it'll be good. Welcome back, Anadolcia.
Thank you.
Next up, we have making a fabled tier debut, as it were. We have the brave blossomer Floran. We have Zewxip with us. Zewxip, welcome back.
Thank you. It's a pleasure for us to return. We're quite happy.
Now, from what I understand, Zewxip, you have been reunited with a friend of yours who was lost long, long ago.
Yes, Bartholomew had promised to help revive my lost friend, whose foot I carried with me all this time, and we just recently were able to meet, and I showed her off to my lover back in my most favorite port. We were able to get together and discuss the state of things, and as per Bartholomew's, well, everyone needs payment for their services. My friend Zizix, you can pronounce that correctly, I presume.
Zizix, yes.
Yes, that's one way you could pronounce it correctly. There are several correct pronunciations.
Oh, good,
Uh,
good.
has decided to sign up with Bartholomew, and so we may be seeing her, though we fear that the process of bringing her back under such dire circumstances may have, well, let's hope for the best, shall we?
I suppose that's all we can do. I hope I hope everything's okay. But Zuzep, I hope everything's also okay with you. I mean, you are a fabled tier adventurer here now. I imagine you've garnered. How are you dealing with the kind of fame that comes with being a fabled tier adventurer? I mean, are you getting a lot of like recognition on the streets? Probably more than most people because you are in a lot of places at once.
Yes, not just the me singular, but we as a whole are apparently getting some more notice as we propagate across the lands of D&D time.
Hopefully soon, for your sake, we see fields and fields of Zuzips all about.
And I'm sure we'll have plenty of stories to share, although it's always a bit awkward when you hear about something you did 1,000 miles away.
I is an experience I can't quite relate to, but Zewxip, I look forward to hearing those stories. Welcome back, Zewxip.
We thank you.
Uh, Next up, we have another hero that we haven't seen in a while, but a returning veteran here. We have the General of Flames, Grilliam Inferno. Grilliam, welcome back.
Ah, yes, it is good to be back.
Now, Grilliam, tell me, how have you been as of late? What have you been up to, Grilliam?
I've been doing wonderful. In fact, my life couldn't have been better. Ever since my new title, I've gotten quite some recognition lately. But
Really?
but luckily, I've had some time to relax, spend some time with my new pony. Yeah,
Yes. Of course, your mighty steed.
my mighty steed, my flaming pony.
Yes. Now, Grilliam, you are of course a general. I believe that you are a general in the service of one Michael Verity.
Yes, indeed, that is correct.
Have you been while you've been adventuring here in Bartholomew's shop? Do you still kind of lead the armies and kind of give out commands and make sure everything is going well with the military forces of?
Of course, that is my job to lead on. That is my job, and the fact that I shine so bright that I can be seen for miles abound. They will know of my name, and enemies shall fear me.
I imagine that's an effictitious tool as an adventurer. Well, Grilliam, welcome back. It is good to have you here with us once more.
Thank you very much.
And last, and of course not least, another freshly promoted Fabled tier adventurer. We have Rivi Bluecloak, Archer Adept. Rivi, how are you?
Fine, I guess, but like everyone had always like these cool stories, and I just been kind of chilling. I thought being Fable would get me like a lot of attention for once, but no, not really.
Finding that it's just been kind of business as usual since.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I thought I'd get at least like some ladies or men, anything,
Just
but
anyone,
yeah.
Interested romantically, or people coming up asking you,
just anything.
You for
there was one guy that came up to me, but he's doing it for the grand champion, and I'm not the grand champion. So
no, I don't see Scruffles with you, Rivi. Where's your dog?
He's been following me, and he's not my dog. He just started following me one day, and I couldn't get rid of him. But I don't know where he went.
Wait,
now I'm concerned for my safety.
Scruffles wasn't your dog?
No, he just followed me all the time, and he said mean things.
I am very sorry that. I remember you mentioning that you were a little bit nervous, kind of hanging out around Scruffles in the past. But I don't think I fully understood the extent of it.
No, he isn't my dog. No, just a random wolf started following me.
Oh man. Well, Rivi, I'm glad that. I mean, you say you're scared, but it seems for now you're relieved of at least some burden. So I guess that's an improvement.
Yeah.
Things are looking up, maybe, Rivi.
I mean, I'm always looking up because short.
Rivi, one day we'll make an optimist out of you. And without further ado, allow us to begin our adventure. As we begin, to go right into the action, you stand in front of a kind of a large cave system, and next to you is a figure that I think some of you might be familiar with, Victorious, a paladin from the Academy of Light. He kind of wears bright, gleaming plate mail, emblazoned with the sigil of his school as well as his god Pelor, and kind of his long, kind of beautiful flowing hair. And he looks over at you. Hey, what's going on, guys?
Curious, long time no see.
Oh yeah, hey, what's going on? It was the princess, the porcelain princess, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Great to see you again. All of you. The reason that you were coming here is apparently Victorious has been having a little bit of trouble with a dungeon crawl that he's been working his way through, and he needed your help with it. I guess there was a part that he just couldn't quite make it through by himself, and he needed some assistance in getting through one particular room. So he says, "Yeah, the dungeon is right through here. Uncle B, that's what I call him. I know you guys call him Bartholomew or Uncle B to me, as I always say. So Uncle B, he said he'd send me some people to help me out. This dungeon, it's been an absolute nightmare. It's all puzzles and traps. I fought one golem, which was great, and I smited it. I got a crit on my smite, and it was just one hit. But for the most part, it's been pretty dismal in here. He kind of starts walking. Come with me. The dungeon's right inside this cave. I think it was something by an ancient lich. I'm hoping there's a pretty big payout at the end, but I'm not sure. Well, I mean, I'm just paying you for one chamber anyway, so.
All right. I mean, I do have a question, Victorious. Has the Chads been in any trouble lately?
The Chad's. Chad's a real poser. Well, I gotta say, Chad's a poser, but Chad, I kind of like Chad. And Chaz is okay, but Chad, he's been a disgrace.
Okay. Just
ever since last
make sure.
Yes. I mean, of course. Actually, there may be some. Well, I guess it's easier to just show you, but there's probably going to be some heavy drinking involved again.
Oh no!
And he keeps kind of walking forward, and as you're moving through, you see the cave kind of gives way into a very kind of flat-walled dungeon chamber, and he kind of leads you down. Like I said, it was created by an ancient... Oh, wait, hold up a second. He puts his hand up quickly, and you see him just take off his backpack and throw it ahead of him. And just a whole bunch of crisscrossing arrows fly out and move into the hallway ahead that looked like they would have just eviscerated you if you'd gone through. All right, yeah, it takes about 2 minutes to reset, so we're safe to go down here now. I've already kind of cleared all of this out. Kind of continue to walk down the path. You see what looked like the crumbled remains of the golem that he was referring to that he battled. And you move through, a series of, broken traps and kind of odd corridors, maze-like hallways that he walks down with relative confidence until you arrive at the end of a stone hallway. You see what looks like the dungeon has been relatively dingy up to this point, but you see what looks like a wooden door with some kind of like a bit of an opening at the top, like a saloon door, and some kind of bright yellow light kind of pouring through. He says, "All right, here we are. This is the place."
Is there any like writing around the front of this?
No, it's just kind of like at the end of a hallway. It's just like an odd kind of door that's just built into this space.
All right.
I guess we should knock.
Oh, you don't have to knock. You can just walk right in if you want.
Oh, then open the door, and what do I see?
All right, yeah, you go up and push open. It's kind of one of those kind of rolling doors that like kind of bounces back and forth, like the saloon style. And you walk into a fairly quaint-looking tavern. You can see a few guests kind of sitting around drinking and talking. A warm fire burns in the hearth. The space is very well lit, and you can see just kind of a bar along the backside. A dwarven barkeeper that's kind of in the middle of polishing a glass looks up as you enter. "Hello, welcome to the tavern. Can I get you something to drink? Please, come on over." And
I'm gonna look back at Victoria silently, like, are you sure this is a dungeon?
Oh, I'm 100% positive that this is a dungeon. And he kind of points to a door that's a little bit to the right of the bar. "I need to get through that door, I think, to continue the crawl. But this dude over here," and he kind of points at the bartender, "he's been a real pain in my, well, I'm not going to say the word, but it would have been pretty crude."
Ass?
Yeah, he's been a real pain in my ass. Yeah, why don't we come over to the bar?
Why didn't you just ask him for the key?
Oh, yeah,
Nicely.
Sure. Hey, dude, bartender, dude, can I have the key? And he speaks to you. "You want the key to my bar, do you? Not a chance, friend. I've worked hard my whole life to earn this place. Not simply gonna give it up to the likes of you, hardly even know ya. But a drink, perhaps?"
I guess I'll have a drink. Can I get a diet a diet water?
He kind of looks over at you.
Diet water.
My apologies, sir. I'm afraid we don't have any diet water on the menu.
Any normal water then?
And he just kind of points. Oh, I'm afraid we don't have any water on the menu. But then he kind of reaches back and points to the wall behind him, and you see there are, you see there are like a number of different drinks and beverages kind of posted on the wall, written down on like a chalkboard. It looks like where he's showing what like today's menu is for drinks. And one of them is crossed off. It's called Wind Whiskey. And Victorious goes, all right, so here's what the puzzle was. We've gotten to a bit of a tough point. I've kind of backed us into a corner here. But here's what the puzzle was. There was like a little scroll here on the bar that had an elaborate riddle, and I think I was supposed to drink the drinks in a particular order. But I drank the wind whiskey, and it created like a whole wind in the bar, and it spun it around, and, well, I lost the little slip of paper, and it flew into the fireplace, so I have no idea how to do this puzzle anymore.
And it appears that you drank the last one as well.
Yeah, so I think, well, the conclusion that I've come to, I love to pound some brews, but, these brews are a bit dangerous, and I think we just gotta face them, and I didn't want to do that by myself.
I can handle some alcohol.
Well, I don't usually drink, because that's when I make my worst decisions.
Anadoltia just wants to go to the fireplace, see if the scroll is actually burned away, or is just...
Yeah, you kind of go over and look in, and as you're going over there, there's no dice. You're kind of looking around inside the space, and yeah, Victoria says, "Yeah, I already looked through. It's ashes. It's ashes, little dude."
How did you reach into fire and what?
Oh, I didn't like put my hands in the flames or anything, but I looked around pretty extensively. I probably, frankly, wouldn't have had to spend the money hiring you if I hadn't have burned that paper.
Well,
completely unrighteous.
So, list me the drinks then, because I'm interested.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them at the wall. Victorious, I have been kind of making friends. I think they're simulacrums. I have been kind of making friends with them. He kind of points. He goes over to the corner where you see there's a musician that's kind of resting, and he has like a big accordion, and there's a couple of like drummers and other bandmates behind him. He goes over and talks to him, and the band kind of like picks up and starts to play. I think they're simulacrums, like I said, not sure. But some music begins to just kind of play in the space. I mean, might as well drink with a tune in the background, huh?
I'm concerned for my safety.
And so you begin reading over the list of drinks that are kind of written on the chalkboard. You see one called Ooze Booze. There's one that's just called Spirit. You see Felagar's Firewater. There's one called Fizzy Wine, Spice of Life, Eye Opener, Sigh, and then O with an apostrophe Night, so Sigh of Night. And then there's one called The Best Rum Anyone's Ever Had, and then there's one just called Cup of Cheer.
I'm already interested in the firewater.
I guess I'll have the fizzy wine.
All right.
That cup of cheer does sound interesting.
All right, yeah. You're going to order the cup of cheer. What are you up to, Zewxip? Kind of taking in the space.
I'm gonna talk to the bartender. After all, I do enjoy sailing into new ports and making friends here, and this is a new port. And I've been in many a tavern. Excuse me, Bog.
Oh yes. How can I help you, sir?
That aside, I want to say that I've been to many establishments, and I find this one to be extremely sufficient.
He kind of looks at you and he goes, "Oh, I think this place is a bit more than sufficient. Worked my whole life to open this place. It's the product of years and years of elaborate planning. I brew all these myself, you know."
I appreciate your hard work. Unfortunately, while I do enjoy a cup of my crushed cousins that have been fermented over time. I would prefer just a nice cup of water.
Did you say crushed cousins?
I'm afraid we don't have any water for you, sir.
I already asked. No diet water either.
Well, I understand, and different places serve different menus. And if this is cultural for your people, then I will take that under consideration. That said, I believe that aside from the things that have been brewing in the back, there may very well be a brouhaha. I'm trying to improve my humor for you people. We are.
Victorious looks over and kind of slaps you on the back. Hey, brouhaha! That's like a fight. Hey, the good one.
Yes. Do you permit fights in your bar? That would be extremely more sufficient if we could.
I'm just gonna look at Zewxip like, what are you thinking?
Kind of
Let's not beat people up. I like being the hero. We can all be the heroes here. And heroes are going to beat people up. Unless we're talking about, like...
Yeah, I don't condone needless violence in a bar.
Yeah, he kind of looks over and goes, I'm not going to say there's never a scrap around here, but we prefer to keep the fighting to a minimum if possible. But, things get rowdy. Well, he kind of just turns his head to the side and shrugs a little bit.
Naturally. Then I will ask one more favor of you. Do you have an empty jar of some kind that I could use?
I'll tell you what, the best way to empty a jar would be to down the contents of it.
And Anadoltia just produces an empty jar from her bag. Goes, here you go.
Oh. Well, I will perhaps need two. And I will provide you custom. It is I am in your establishment. Sorry, I'm having some problems. There's been some, tough times going on in our lives. As a bartender, I'm sure you've heard of such people down on their luck.
If you need to tell me of your troubles, I'm all ears.
Can I have that fire water?
Oh, yes, of course. My dearest apologies. And he says, just a moment with that. And he kind of walks over and kind of pours... He takes out a bottle, and the bottle, you can see the inside of the contents of it are kind of almost roiling and boiling like flames. And he kind of takes out a very small, almost shot glass. It's bigger than a shot glass, but smaller than like a regular tumbler, and pours some of this whiskey into the glass. You see the top of it flames a little bit, and he pushes it down towards you. Enjoy, sir.
Perfect. I just smile in glee because it's on fire.
Yeah, and Anadoltia did order a cup of cheer.
Oh, a cup of cheer for you! You see, this is a much more complicated drink. He kind of goes around, collects a bunch of ingredients. You see him kind of like boiling. He has like a little like stove top over on the side with like a little hearth on it. And it takes him like maybe 5 minutes. He's constantly kind of like working and talking, answering questions as he's putting it together for you. But he like melts chocolate and makes you this really like kind of rich, looking almost like a cup of hot chocolate. There's like whipped cream and like cinnamon and like nutmeg and spices on top of it. And you definitely saw him pour some like different like liqueurs in it as well.
Now that does look interesting.
And he passes it towards you.
Yeah, and Anadoltia would probably like.
Anadoltia would like look it over, like how lift it up, see just how thick it looks.
I mean, it's a little bit tough to see without like pouring it out because there's like that thick like kind of swirl of whipped cream on the top covering up the liquid. But the glass feels pretty heavy.
All right. She considering that Lady Molly is actually just molasses herself, so she's gonna get a little sample and just scoop. She'll put Anadoltia put her finger in the drink and let Lady Molly have a taste of it, see how she reacts.
Wait, how old are you?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Well, I could honestly say I'm a lot older than you are.
Oh, I'm just making sure an underage person wasn't drinking, because as a hero, I would not allow such.
Yes, yeah, I get
bad
it.
behavior.
But it's also
You're 14. Is that a problem?
I believe the legal drinking age in this tavern is, and he kind of thinks for a while. I don't think there's a drinking age here.
Yeah, and it also like how it's Rivi goes. And speaking of like heroes stuff, isn't it very rude to ask a lady her age?
No. Wait, maybe.
You might want to rethink that, bucko.
Look.
And as Molly's kind of lapping up a little bit at the top, it's definitely warm. But your puppy kind of looks up at you and smiles.
I guess it's safe. Yeah, and also then like just take a little sip of it.
All right, you kind of take you take like a tiny sip. It's really tasty. The chocolate in it is pretty strong, and the barkeeper kind of looks over at you as you're kind of just like taking a tiny sip from it. Go on, drink up.
Of course, but like I said, I always like to give it a little sip beforehand.
Right,
She does. She does just gulp it down.
All right. Once you've kind of gulped it down, like I said, it's delicious, and you find your cheeks kind of just curling upwards naturally into a smile, even though you kind of have this like frozen, like rigid, doll-like face.
Basically, just my teeth just remain bared.
Yeah, you're just kind of in this like very scary smile, but also it was incredibly tasty. You feel like, in addition to your face kind of contorting like that, you do feel genuinely like a lot of joy as you drink this thing down, and you gain 10 temporary hit points. Grilliam, are you gonna take? It's kind of like a big shot. Are you just gonna swig it?
I'm drinking it all.
All right, you just put it back in one.
I'm assuming this is extremely hot. And if I take fire damage, I have resistance, so...
it is extremely hot, and as you kind of drink it down, you feel it kind of go down, the gullet, and even for you, you're like, oh man, that burns. And you feel like in your stomach, the heat begin to swell, and your already kind of burning body catches on fire even a little bit more. You would be currently taking 1 fire damage per turn, but you have resistance, which is halved and rounded down, so you actually take no damage from this drink. Which
I guess I'm having
really
the fizzy
brutal on
stuff.
someone else. All right, yeah. He kind of goes over and uncorks a bottle of wine, but Grilliam, your flames are just burning higher and like longer than they usually do. Your face is like sweating a little bit, but you're unscathed by this drink. Excellent choice.
Woo, that's a spicy one.
Yeah, he opens up kind of a bright pink bottle, and pours into a long, almost champagne glass, just a very pink, kind of bubbly liquid, that he pushes over towards you. Enjoy, enjoy, one of the finest. And was I getting something for you as well? And actually, after Grilliam and Anadoltia drink their drinks, he goes over and kind of crosses out those 2 drinks on the board and just writes "sold out" next to them. As he hands you the fizzy wine and he looks back at you.
I have a feeling I'm going to regret this. Maybe not now, maybe not later, but eventually.
Looks
Maybe
back.
takes a little sip.
Okay, yeah, you take a little sip. You kind of like hiccup a little bit. You feel almost instantly a little bit lightheaded.
Oh, I gotta get this over with, don't I? Just finish it all.
All right, you drink the whole thing. The bartender goes over and writes, kind of goes over and writes "sold out" in the same way next to it and crosses it off the list.
I haven't drunk anything in 7 years.
You feel, like I said, very lightheaded. And you can't really tell from where you are, but those of you who are sitting next to kind of Rivi at the bar, Victorious kind of looks over at you first and just goes, "Oh, dude, what's up with your head?" And your head seems to be getting bigger. You don't feel it doesn't feel any heavier, but you see Rivi's head is starting to look like cartoonish on his body as it's just very slowly expanding, almost like it's inflating. Like the cheeks are kind of becoming round. It's a strange, kind of a strange sight.
And I was just probably just looking at it and just simply says,
Cold balloon?
This is why I don't drink.
The bartender walks back over to you, Zewxip. He goes, "You were about to tell me about your woes and troubles. As a good bartender, I'm here to listen if you have to."
Oh, I'm sorry. I believe we have been the whole time you were serving. As I was saying, and that's how I believe that I'm not sure if the Trash Kingdom will ever be the same by the time we're done. But enough about that. Can I propose a trade to you? You've been kind, and you've been listening to our story. And really, sometimes that's all someone ever really needs is to have someone listen.
I'm always willing to lend an ear.
Well, good. You have 2, so I expect you'll be advantageous in that.
Wait, you only have 1 ear?
A friend of mine over here really needs to get through that door for his own personal reasons. And, well, I can't necessarily buy him a drink, especially as others seem to have done so. But perhaps I can propose a bit of a trade, if you could at least let him take a sneak peek past that door off to the side. Tell me, have you ever heard of nectar mead?
I'm not say I'm familiar with that drink, and I'm not even sure what door it is you're speaking of.
I'm gonna look over to our adventuring companion here, and
he says, "I'm gonna be honest with you, I've been smooth talking this guy for some time. I think he's more programmed than he is a person. Isn't that right, dude? He won't even tell me his name. I've just been calling him dude. Hey, dude.
What have you asked for his name?
Then
Then perhaps-
the door." He kind of points at it, and the dwarf bartender looks over in the direction of where the door would be, and he goes, "I think I might need to cut you off, sir. You've had a few too many."
I start to get a little bit of an idea. I'm gonna stand.
I had 1.
I'm gonna stand up, and because my body is burning more than it really should be, I want to touch the wall where the door would be.
All right, yeah. The door is there. You can see it very clearly.
Is it burnable?
You go and kind of put your hands on it, and the fire that's kind of coursing off your body. All of you who are sitting next to him at the bar could like feel the extra heat kind of coming off. You place your hand on it, and it seems the door is magically sealed.
Well, I need to get this problem fixed before I drink anything else.
Yeah, your head's still getting bigger.
Yeah,
it's now about 4 times its original size.
Jesus!
It looks like comical at this point. His head's probably about 2 or 3 feet in diameter at this point, blowing up almost circular like a balloon.
I am mostly at this point. I'd like some medical assistance.
Yeah, you say that, and you're kind of you're there. Your head's just kind of continuing to grow. It doesn't show any signs yet of stopping, and yeah, it doesn't. Like I said, you just feel lightheaded. It doesn't necessarily feel like painful. It's weird, you guys are there. There's still a whole bunch of these kind of left up on the board.
Please.
How many drinks are left?
It looks like there was the one that was already crossed out, so it looks like there's still 6 drinks left.
Ooh, yikes.
Which ones are available?
Is there one called antitoxin? I need that one right now.
There isn't one called antitoxin. There's one that's just called spirit. There's one called ooze booze. There is one called spice of life. You see that there is one that's called eye opener. One that's called sigh o' night. There's one that's called the best rum anyone's ever had.
All right, give me sigh o' night. I can't get much worse than this.
Okay.
And I think Anadoltia just tried that. What was it? The something of life?
No, actually,
Spice of life.
would you mind if I try that spice of life, actually, Anadoltia? Because I'm feeling spicy today.
Alright, I guess I'll try that best rum anyone's ever had.
All right.
I guess I'm trying the night thing.
The sigh of night. All right.
Yeah.
Quickly and efficiently.
I'm going to die.
He puts down before you, Anadoltia. He produces a mug in front of you. That's about 2 feet tall. It looks like over a gallon. over a gallon that's just kind of like frothing in a mug. Yeah, it doesn't even look like, it doesn't necessarily look all that rum. It's very dark, but it must be some kind of mix, because there's no way this is just all rum. He puts in front of you a very small kind of like wispy-looking martini. It's kind of pitch black, and you see there's like a little smoke furling off of it. In front of you, Rivi, and in front of you, Max. He puts down just a kind of a tall cylindrical glass that's filled with a bright red liquid.
Well, can I poison this? He just plugs it down.
Oh,
And Anadoltia's just like looking at this 2 foot tall mug, and she's like, "You expect me?" She actually looks down at her little body and at the mug.
I'm shorter than you.
Not at the moment with the size of your head, as that's continuing to grow. So, do you like pick it up, Anadoltia? Are you like going to start at it?
She actually looks at the bartender and says, "Can I have a straw? Because I really doubt I can pick this thing up."
Your wish.
Oh, they're bad for the environment.
And kind of reaches down and actually produces. It seems this is something that he did have. He does have a straw that he puts in the glass for you to enjoy it from.
All right, she like looks at it and goes, "I guess here we go," and she just puts the straw in and just starts drinking.
As soon as you do so, I would like you to roll for initiative, because as you start to drink, the spice of life, I'm sorry, the best rum anyone's ever had. You watch as like all of the various kind of patrons in the bar look up and over at you, and you just hear them kind of start to call out, "That's the best rum I've ever had! I thought it was all sold out! Please, share it with me! Please, please! I'll take it!" And they start kind of moving over to you, and they go over to try and like start wrenching the glass from your grasp. I guess you don't have to roll initiative, you can just let them do
it. Actually, I think I'll just let them do it, but I'll also like give them a caveat. I'll let you have it if you can order me some.
One of the kind of patrons comes up to you. They appear to be kind of a tiefling with a bright green skin. They look over. "Whatever you want. What do you need?"
What's left on the board?
Left on the board, you can still see the ooze booze, the spirit, and the eye opener.
I'll take the eye opener.
Actually, Sigh of Night and the best rum everyone's ever had. Yeah, I know you have it, but he hasn't crossed it off yet because you haven't downed it yet.
We need to drink it. Wait, don't give it away. We need to drink it from the cross off on the board.
Yeah, that's why I'm letting them drink it.
No, I think we need to drink it.
I don't think it was stated like that, but so, and she just says, "Give me the eye opener, please."
Right away. And he hands you a perfectly clear liquid, Anadoltia, in just a shot glass. It's just a really simple clear liquid in a shot glass.
Alright, she'll currently just hold it and just watch the tiefling and the rest of them just fight over the best rum anyone's ever had.
Alright, yeah, and they are absolutely duking it out, like struggling and kind of fighting over each other. A lot of it's like sloshing out and spilling, but all of them are doing their best to like down this like multiple gallon glass in big kind of gulps as it changes hands over the course of the battle. Are you guys all just watching, or are you guys drinking the other drinks?
No, I'm chugging
I'm still trying to drink the spirit.
Okay.
I am chugging the spice
I'm
of
talking
life.
the ears off the bartender.
Wait, what was that you're doing, Zewxip? What?
I'm still I'm pouring, or although outpouring for the bartender.
You're just like behind the counter trying to mix some stuff.
No, like I'm at the bar and so I'm having an outpouring
okay.
of
Yeah,
emotion
yeah.
and talk and so I'm pouring for the bartender just in an emotional.
Okay. We'll come back to that in a second. But I need you to make me a Constitution saving throw as you drink the Scio Night.
I can't get any breaks.
Yeah, bad. A couple of rough picks there.
I got literally the truly most neutral number I could roll.
10 is not quite enough. As you take 13 points of poison damage.
What did I do to deserve this? This is why I don't drink.
And
You're
you you like from some of your past, you think cyanite, and then you're like, oh god, it's cyanide.
What?
You are poisoned. You are currently poisoned.
No, just give me the rest of them. I'm gonna finish this off. I don't care anymore.
You just drink the whole. You just drink the whole glass.
I gotta finish it anyway.
Finish that one. Yeah, he crosses that one off as he's kind of leaning back over to you.
Alright, what do we have left? What do we have left? Just give me them. Just give me them. I don't care anymore. Just finish.
Zewxip's head, by the way, I'm sorry, I said Zewxip. I meant to say Riva's head has grown to a point now where it's like getting hard to sit at the bar. It's probably like 20 feet or so across. It's getting close to touching the ceiling.
And I'm assuming it's not stopping, is it?
It's still not stopping.
Just give me the rest of them. I'm done. Just give me the rest of them. If I die, I die. At this point, I don't care anymore. Get over with.
All right. Yeah.
Well,
and
I still have the spice of life, and I want to chug that.
he looks. He's looking very balloony. You have the spice of life. All right. You kind of chug the spice of life. As you drink the spice of life, you gain you heal for 14 points of healing.
Okay, this is bullshit.
Anadoltia just chugs back the eye opener.
All right, you chug down the eye opener, and in this point, you see the best rum anyone's ever had is kind of almost gone at this point, and they kind of finish the last gulp as you're drinking it. The bartender does not go over and cross it off the list. However, as you drink the eye opener, you come to realize something. As you're looking around, the bar, it transforms. You see your ally sitting next to you. Victorious looks over. He's like, dude, how was that one? It looked pretty good. But you just kind of hear, dude, how's that one? It looked pretty good. And his mouth kind of like curls up into a vicious grin. And you see the faces of all of your allies kind of turn in this way. You're surrounded by monsters and enemies. You are suddenly mad. Actually, I do need everyone now to roll for initiative.
Oh dear.
I'm still getting a drink. I need to get this over with.
I want to ask, what kind of effect would that have on me?
It would be considered a charm effect if you have some kind of advantage or something against charm. Not initially, but eventually it might have some implications.
I'm looking if I have anything against charm. Currently only have something advantage against bravery, and pretty much immunity to sleep, so yeah, nothing at the moment.
Alright. In that case, go ahead and roll me initiative, Anadoltia. Zewxip, you're kind of pouring your heart out to the barkeeper, and the barkeeper at this point, as you're just kind of like going through all of these emotional stories, is he's like, I never heard such a tale, and he's kind of like crying and weeping a little bit. What are you saying, Zewxip?
As in, what was I talking about, or?
Yeah. What were you kind of telling them as you were? You said you were kind of like just pouring your heart out to this.
Yes, I was talking about the old times that my young friend and I had romping around the pasture. We'd get into trouble. We'd go on these nice summertime adventures until the day that we decided to break our local law, and we went to a place called the Trash Kingdom. Have you heard of the Trash Kingdom?
I can't say I'm entirely familiar. It sounds like a terrible place.
Yes, it's filled with filth and rot and garbage. Quite literally, it is a garbage place. And, well, something bad happened. And my friend, she didn't... And these, like, tears of nectar are rolling down my face, but I'm trying to catch them in the jar that's underneath me.
Okay, yeah.
And my friend, well, since that day, I've been carrying her foot around until just recently, and I'm so happy, but I'll tell you, she's not the same now.
She's not the same.
Nor am I. It's. I thought it would be good to have her back, but we're not who we were.
Adventures can change a person, but you'll always be friends, won't you? And he's really like invested in your story at this point. And as that happens, you're kind of like, you're collecting your tears. You're still, in control of yourself. And you kind of see over to your side as Anadoltia. Anadoltia, you just kind of reach over and go to attack Rivi.
Why me?
I need you to make me an attack roll. You're the biggest target.
You're the biggest target with the fattest head.
Why do I deserve this? This keeps happening to me.
Is it limited to anything or just
the most efficient ability that you have, like an Eldritch Blast, or if you have Eldritch Blast, use Eldritch Blast.
Yeah, I guess Eldritch Blast. Yeah, I guess I'll use that.
It hits.
You take 3 points of force damage. As that happens, you watch as it hits kind of Rivi in the massively swollen head. Rivi's head just has like a little puncture in it, and Rivi, you just kind of around the bar, and you feel better. Your head's not as light anymore.
I'm so much pain.
You definitely feel where it smarts, but it seems to have popped your giant balloon-like head. And yeah, you guys all see as Anadoltia just turns around and shoots Rivi in the head. That's gonna bring us to the top of the initiative. Grilliam, what do you do?
Where did he land? He flew all over the bar.
Oh yeah, he like bounced into the ceiling a couple of times, but it seemed like kind of cushioned by the balloon-like nature of the head. And he's just like crashed onto a table where he's hitting. He's kind of like sitting, head spinning a little bit of a distance away. The patrons have all at this point kind of calmed down because they're no longer the greatest rum they've ever had is all gone. Anyone's ever had.
I'm gonna look very confused at Anadoltia's actions, but first things first, I'm going to run over to Rivi and use Cure Wounds on him.
Thank you.
All right, you run over.
Someone actually cared about me for once.
And cure kind of Rivi's wounds.
Very
go ahead and make me a weapon attack against your ally.
Doing
This is provoking an opportunity attack.
5 hit points healed.
It can't be a ranged attack, so if it's just an unarmed strike, would you have, like,
it's
a
a touch. It's
I'm asking Anadoltia if they have a dagger or something like that.
I do have a dagger. Yes.
All right, go ahead and swing away.
Wait. I have the question. Could I also use the butterfly net?
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Oh god, I'm gonna be hit by a butterfly net.
Does 13 hit?
Wait, is that a DC? Wait, do I have to make a DC or?
Well, does it hit for starters?
I mean, if it hits,
no, that does not hit me. No.
Okay.
All right, yeah. So the Anadoltia just swings a little butterfly net at you, and you're good. You just dodge as you don't even feel anything. And that's gonna bring us next in initiative to. It is you, Rivi. What do you want to do?
Alright. I have been shit on by my companions constantly, forever, and now you have the audacity to physically harm me. Okay, I am done. He just pulls out his bow and gets ready to fucking shoot her in the face.
Alright, go ahead and fire away. 18, does an 18 hit you, Anadoltia?
It does.
Alright, go ahead and roll. Ooh.
Ooh!
You take 13 points of damage, a pretty sizable chunk. Oh man,
He's going through the action
roll
surge
on the first one.
He's going with action surge.
All right, yeah, absolutely.
Go shoot her again.
Oh god.
The 14 hit.
Does a 14 hit, Anadoltia?
My armor class is equal to 14.
All right, that hits. Roll damage again. 14 and 13, 27 points of damage.
Which is pretty much just 17 after that temporary hit points.
Yeah, so how you look at it, Anadoltia? Probably not too great.
I am at 21.
Okay, yeah, those temporary hit points are definitely helping you here. And as the arrow kind of strikes into Anadoltia, also, Anadoltia, I'd like you to make me 2 wisdom saving throws. 13 is not going to quite do it, unfortunately. Nor is 8. As you take the 2 arrows, this terrifying creature that is Rivi like a tiny dragon, and he just kind of pulls back this huge, sinister-looking bow and fires bolts of cold energy at you. It's terrifying, Anadoltia. You don't know how you managed to get in this situation.
The way, how does everyone else appear? Because, I could, and also, am I capable of, saying something while all this is happening?
Yeah, absolutely. You're controlled as normal. You just see that everyone around you is a terrifying monster, and you know you need to deal. You're driven by the desire to attack and defeat these terrible foes before you. Victorious kind of looks at you and just goes, "Calm down."
I'm just asking, like...
Oh, I didn't tell her to calm down. I fucking was mad. I started yelling at her, just started fucking shooting arrows at her.
What I'm asking is, what does everyone looks like besides Rivi, which you already said it looks like a little dragon?
I'm probably like a monstrous fire elemental.
Yeah, just a terrifying like fire elemental with black eyes. You see Zewxip's body has grown like thorny, and the snapdragons are actually like snapping in the air. Bartender looks regular. The patrons all look terrifying.
I like how the bartender looks normal.
Everything else is terrifying.
Like, I'll probably like look at the bartender and say, what happened to my friends? Why did they look like monsters?
Well, before we get to that, it is Zewxip's turn. Zewxip, what do you do? Your allies are battling against each other.
Yes, I'm gonna look over the bartender. You know, if he's been, we were sharing a good cry together. I think we're making a really good bond.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I think that there's something I have to address. You'll allow me to do so. I hope. We're being interrupted. It's quite rude.
Just kind of looks at you. Whatever you need, Zewxip. Whatever you need. And
Thank
Victoria
you.
just goes, "Wow, he never said my name."
And I am going to turn around, and I am going to cast Enlarge Reduce on myself.
Ooh.
Ooh.
You all are interrupting me!
Now, I have a question. Is that just how Anadoltia hears it, or is that how everyone hears it?
Oh, that's how I'm presenting myself. Anadoltia,
Okay.
I'm sure, gets a fun little, frosting on top of that.
Yeah, Anadoltia, as you're looking at Zewxip do this, they become huge, and like the thorny petals kind of spread out, and the go ahead and make me an intimidation check with advantage.
Oh god, Anadoltia is just gonna be like crying in the
Yeah,
corner.
Anadoltia, for this, I'm gonna let you make another wisdom saving throw against your fear, as this is like an attack of the psyche, essentially, here. It's almost like, yeah, okay.
You said against fear? Or just...
No, I was just...
Or just like just trying to like...
I was just, that was more flavor than it was a mechanical
Okay.
thing. And as you're looking at Zewxip kind of like towering over you, you see you see them kind of hop up and swell in size. The room grows dark around them, and just two piercing points around where Zewxip's eyes on the kind of the top of the blossomer kind of flower bulb. And you just hear this voice boom in your mind, and it's so like terrifying. You just have to like push yourself back against the wall, and the shock of it just all of a sudden wakes you up. And it's still pretty terrifying as Zewxip looms huge over you. But you're back around you. You see Rivi is just Rivi looking very angrily at you. You see the patrons are normal. You've snapped out of this particular haze.
So I think it's now my turn.
Yeah, it's now your turn.
And also like just you just see like her little porcelain eyes like kind of blink up and down rapidly, almost like making little clinking noises as they make like. And she just like says something like, "What the hell did that drink do to me?"
Yeah, Anadoltia kind of comes out of this haze. And I think that brings us out of initiative.
Well, would we know she's still in the haze?
Yeah, you can kind of like see visibly as Anadoltia, who's acting very strange, all of a sudden kind of starts, starts kind of acting a little bit funny and a little bit, a little bit more lighthearted, and just looks confused and scared instead of just vicious.
Rivi literally like mid-drawing into an arrow, who just kind of gently puts it back, but not all the way back.
Yeah.
Just gently puts the arrow back.
The bowstring is like taut, and then you just loosen it like a little bit. And over the next kind of few moments, you see things kind of calm down a little bit, and that drink is crossed off on the bar. There is only, I believe, at this point, 2 drinks that are left. You have the booze, booze, and the spirit.
Wait, you mean the rum, the best rum that was ever had is actually crossed off?
I'm sorry, and the best rum that you've ever had, the ooze booze.
Hey, Zewxip! That's not very. My accent showing through there. Hey, Zewxip, why don't you try one? You haven't been doing much. I'm freaking
I
literally
haven't been doing much.
Exactly.
What?
I have literally drinking cyanide.
I'm gonna literally just thaumaturgy my eyes so they're like flaming and just demand that you both calm the hell down.
And I was just like very weakly get back up to the bar.
Yeah, you hop back up.
Yeah, I'll probably look at the bartender. Says, "Would these drinks come with side effects that are listed?"
I don't see why they would, he says.
Considering what that eye opener did, I'm pretty sure they would really need them.
Perhaps you just can't handle your drink.
Ooh, I got a very interesting idea. Say, I know how to cheer everyone up. How about a nice, good, best rum for everyone in the bar on me?
He kind of goes, well, we're down to the last one, but I can pour it for you. And he kind of goes over and pours another one of the... he said a similar thing last time, it was the last one, but he pours you another one of this huge kind of black drink in just a massive glass mug.
Oh dear, I'm gonna look at everyone and just be like, guys, don't let me die. And I'm just gonna slowly try to start drinking it just to watch everyone stare at me.
The second you put your hand on it, you watch as all the patrons in the bar stand up and start rushing over towards you.
No, what happened last time. The second anyone tries to touch him, I still have the arrow pinned up, arrow drawn from, Anadoltia. So if anyone tries to touch Grilliam, I'm just gonna pop.
Oh, I just want us to roll initiative yet again because I am not letting this happen.
Yeah, that same tiefling kind of walks over and goes to move towards Grilliam. Go ahead and make an attack roll.
Can I use a spell instead?
I have, no, I'm making the attack roll.
He has, like, a ready to action. You can also use a spell.
I have advantage, right, with my allied next to the guy.
You're talking to me. No one.
Is that
Pack tactics?
Yeah.
I am Rivi is just very bow happy tonight.
Yeah, 23 is definitely going to hit. Roll damage. Alright, yeah, the arrow just kind of pierces the skull of this individual. You see the arrow just kind of fly out, and he kind of gets knocked aside by just the force of it, and his head kind of freezes over. There's no blood. The body just kind of, like, falls down to the ground limp.
They're robots! I knew it!
Like I was saying, dude, I'm pretty sure they're simulacrums. Actually, if you wait long enough, I've fought a couple of these guys. They will repair.
Oh, God.
I thought I could maybe, like... I'm not proud of it. I thought I could maybe beat some information out of them. Didn't really work out all that much. But yeah, they'll come back. But I think he should be out for at least a little while. And meanwhile, Grilliam, you're just trying to chug this drink, right?
Well, I'm checking my spells real quick because I have a let's see. I'm going to chug the rum as an action, but I'm going to cast Spiritual Weapon as a bonus action.
Okay, absolutely.
So I'm and once I cast it, I can make an attack against a target within 5 feet of the weapon, which I'm going to make it spawn right next to the patron closest to me.
All right. Yeah, you just kind of keep your weapon in front of you, and there's about 5 patrons in the bar, other than the group of you, and with relative ease, they're just kind of like seem like they're acting like regular people. So with relative ease, you are able to like bat them away with the spiritual weapon, especially if
it's an actual attack roll, though. If you want me to make it.
Yeah, you can go ahead and make the attack roll.
Okay.
Oh no! Immediately as I say that, I'm glad I had you make the attack roll. You watch as one of them, you see kind of a woman, kind of long, darkish hair. She seems to be human. Walks up to you and goes to like just take the drink from your hand, and is kind of like shaking it, and it's like kind of starting to froth a little bit, and slosh about a little bit. It looks like it could spill if she goes and grabs it from you. Go ahead and make me a contested strength check against this.
Athletics or just pure strength?
Just pure strength.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, athletics. No, athletics is.
Oh, I'll make the athletics roll then. Never mind. Boom.
Dodge the bullet there.
Oh man, just barely come out on the top. You kind of managed to push her back. Rivi, I imagine you're just gonna deal with it.
Yeah. So is there like a group of them together?
They're
Like
all just kind of
approaching?
like walking. Yeah, there's 3 of them in kind of a pile. There's one of them that's already up at. And we're doing kind of a loot initiative. Zewxip, by the way, though, you've gotten big. You're still very angry in this space. It sounds like. What are you kind of doing right now?
Well, because I'm sitting out here outpouring my heart to the bartender. There's demons and other things flying around, bumping the ceiling, fighting. I'm rather upset. I'm in a bit of an emotional state. And so to go back in, take. Why must everyone take? Life and time. Why can't we give? Move aside, everyone. Move aside. And I'm going to go. I'm going to go to each of the tables. I've seen these patrons come rushing up. These patrons are obviously thirsty. They want stuff. I'm going to go to the tables. I'm going to ask them what do they want. I'm going to take their order and bring it back to the bartender and get them drinks.
They only want the rum.
Yeah, they kind of look. They kind of look at you as you're kind of standing in their way, and they're kind of like moving. It's the best rum I've ever had. I have to taste it once more.
Then
please.
sit down, and I'll bring it to you. Allow me to serve you.
Zewxip, there's a problem with that. I only have the last one.
Then, please hand it to me.
But I'm gonna try. I protest. Can I I
yeah,
can't.
You can protest. You're just talking.
Yeah, I can't. We have to cross the drink off the board. If they drink it, it doesn't count.
Are you so sure?
Yeah, and I mean, our doll friend ordered it and they drank it. Nothing happened. They literally brawled each other over it. Nothing happened. So so just hold them off, could you please?
Victorious kind of looks up at you. Zewxip and kind of goes, "Hey, dude, like, are you good? I'm sorry."
We're having a moment.
All right. Do you want to? I don't know if he's the best talking companion. Do you want to talk about it? Points at the bartender.
The bartender has listened to me this whole time and has even addressed me by my name. Our name. There are more than just one Zewxip now.
Mm.
And
Well then.
while you're kind of saying this, these people below you are still kind of like just driven singularly towards this drink, trying to like push their way past your huge body.
Anadoltia is probably like just got off the bar and just like stood like right in front of like where Grilliam is, just in an area where she won't really affect any of her allies. So I'm like, because she might just
Grilliam's holding the drink. I'd like to pick up Grilliam to hold him over the swarm.
Yeah.
Oh
Absolutely.
God! Is this torture? I feel
Yeah, Grilliam, you get a little bit nervous as you're kind of lifted up into the air, and as you're kind of holding on to Grilliam, Zewxip, you actually take a point of fire damage because Grilliam's body is still just like burning bright and hot from a previous drink that he had. Do you just kind of hold through it? I imagine fire's not your favorite.
Oh, fire is my favorite.
Oh wait, of course it. Oh man, my mistake. I almost forgot. So yeah, you're just kind of. Or do you have resistance to fire now?
Let me double check real quick.
I think you're dragon sorcerer.
Yes, brass. So it is fire.
Yeah, you do have it. Never mind. You actually take no damage from this as well. You just hold this beacon Grilliam up in the air, away from the creature, away from these creature.
Wait,
So,
hold up.
Grilliam,
Wait.
you see as you burn away my
fire resistance.
moral
He has
exterior.
fire resistance. I, as a draconic being, do not have fire resistance. How? What?
Wait, you're a descendant of a dragon.
There's a
That's
fire elemental and a dragon sorcerer. Kobolds have sunlight sensitivity.
Yeah, great.
You hold the Grilliam up in the air, shining like a beacon. Grilliam, do you just down this drink?
yeah. How long will it take for me to down this drink?
Go ahead and make me Constitution checks, and I will let you know how many
Just
rounds
straight
it takes.
Constitution.
Because I imagine that Zewxip only has a couple rounds left on that enlarge. Yep, that's a great start. You get down like a third of it in one big round.
Okay.
gulp.
So, and bonus action is this.
All right, yeah, you're kind of battering them away on the ground with spiritual.
I'm gonna keep shooting the guys.
Yeah, you guys are like keeping them at bay and kind of knocking them down over and over again.
If any of them get to like where I'm at, which is like 25 feet away from my allies, and just 25 feet away from my allies, I'm gonna just cast sleep right then and there.
All right, yeah.
Wouldn't that hit us?
No, he's saying if they're like farther back. I think.
Oh,
If they're-
okay.
If he's not going to hit allies with it.
Yeah, I made it where like while the allies are 25 feet away from me,
Yeah.
that way it won't hit them.
All right, yeah, that situation doesn't arise. There's only a few of them, and between like the damage and Zewxip with the arms in the air, you've kind of like dispatched all of them. And once they're all kind of like downed and incapacitated, Zewxip, if you want to put them down, you can, or if you want to be safe. But Max Meister, and by that I mean Grilliam, I just read your name instinctually. You are able to finish off this drink. It takes a little while, and you're like bloated by the time that you're done. It wasn't like, it didn't taste like it had like barely any alcohol in it, but by the time you're done, the glass kind of empties. You can slam it down on the counter if you so wish once Zewxip lets you down.
Yeah, I
and-
do.
I will,
I do
and just for the
victoriously.
record, at level 6, I get the ability to spend a sorcery point to get DR for fire. So thematically, I guess I thematically I wouldn't be afraid of it, but I don't have the mechanical ability to reduce that point of damage, which is fine. I'll take the
okay.
flame.
Yeah. In that case, since it takes a couple of rounds, you probably end up taking about 4 fire damage.
Sure. All right.
for the round.
4 on top of the 1 or 4 total?
No, total 4.
Noted.
And, the bartender at that point goes over and crosses off the best rum anyone's ever had.
I'm just bloated, and then my stomach is just ugh. And well, who wants the last drink?
Not me.
Um,
I've already drunken cyanide.
2 drinks remain. Actually, there's the ooze booze and the spirit.
No, Anadoltia's gonna risk it. And
I
she
am
does it
too.
like she goes up to the others and says, "I'm gonna try the spirit, but y'all better keep an eye on me just in case something happens."
You got it. You want me to take the last one? I already did one, but I mean I can do at least a second one.
All right,
Yeah, take the ooze booze for us. I can't take anymore. I think I'm gonna have a stomachache if I take another.
But yeah,
Alright.
just wait till I get mine down and wait see if any effects actual happen. So she'll go
she'll look to the bartender.
spirits, please.
Right away. The bartender walks over and kind of produces for you. It appears to be in a very fine glass tumbler, and the liquid in it is kind of this green and blue, swirling like effervescent sort of flow to it, and hands you over the drink, and passes to Victorious what looks like a big just a classic stein of beer. And Victoria says, "Shall we?" and kind of holds the glass up to you.
I look to him and go,
At least wait till I drink this down, and if anything else happens, then you may, if you don't mind, because better
Yeah,
safe
sure.
than sorry.
If that's how you want to do it. I just wanted to do like a cool mug clink, because that's how we drink back at the academy. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, first it's just okay. I'll do the mud clink, but
Well, it's
everything
not
else
the
is
same if we don't drink. It's not the same if we don't drink at the same time afterwards.
all right.
Let's just do it.
How's this going on? Rivi's bleeding.
Anadoltia would just clank and then just chug back to spirit.
As it's going on, Rivi's just gonna take a seat. He seems very frustrated about something.
All right, you go and take a seat, and as you kind of clink lugs, Victoria's like, "All right," and also goes to drink down his drink, and as you drink it, Anadoltia, you start to feel a little bit cold, and you watch as Anadoltia's body becomes a little bit translucent. And you begin to, for one thing, you fall off your stool, but you fall through it. And then you begin to sink into the floor as if it were quicksand.
Eh.
Very
dear.
slowly, you watch as Anadoltia just seems to be being swallowed by the floor. And maybe that's what you notice, but it may also not be quite what you notice, as you see Victorious kind of drink his mug. You see as he kind of goes to pour the beer down, the beer itself kind of wiggles and jiggles a little bit, this kind of bright amber color, and out of it pours an immense amount of liquid, as a booze ooze pours out of it. This huge, like, slime-like creature pours out and falls on top of him, enveloping him instantly. Victorious is surrounded, and you just hear him kind of going, as he's drowning in this strange liquid-like ooze, which is bubbling as Anadoltia sinks through the floor. Go ahead and roll me initiative one last time.
Okie dokie.
Question, what is, like, am I just sinking through the floor, or do I have some sort of control over my body?
You can kind of move yourself, but as you're trying to instinctively go to put your hands out to, like, catch onto the floor to push yourself back up, but your hands just sink through it. But you are kind of moving and controlling your body to a degree. All right. The first to act, I guess, in this instance... Oh, wow, it's going 2 crits. I gotta roll for the ooze as well. Its initiative is probably not... Oh, wow, that's actually very good for it. That's going to bring us first to Rivi. There's a big giant ooze. There's a friend sinking through the floor. What do you do?
Alright. I am absolutely sick of this shit. I just can't have a normal day for once, can I? As he's kind of ranting, he just shoots him.
Alright, go ahead and fire.
I have advantage because
Oh
it
my
is...
god!
Oh, damn!
Roll that spicy damage. I have no doubt that it will be. It's hard to miss, but you can't ignore that critical damage. So that's a 23 points of damage in total. Woo!
Wow,
yeah,
2 crits in a row.
You fire back the bow.
You know what? I think my luck is finally coming back around.
And Rivi, you watch as it strikes into the ooze. A huge chunk of it just kind of like freezes and breaks off, shattering into fragments on the ground.
And with this, he feels a lot better about himself now. He's going to feel so better. He's going to actually use second winds to regain some hit points.
Rivi's suddenly, like, inspired and feeling a little bit more confident. You kind of maybe swoop the blue cape a bit. Does Rivi of the blue cape have a blue cape?
He does. He definitely has. No, it's a blue like cloak. It's like he has like the headpiece and everything.
Yes. I'm sorry, blue cloak. Don't get that wrong.
It's a very important difference. Capes are what nerds wear. Very cool people wear cloaks.
Zewxip, the turn is yours. What do you do?
Look back over to the bartender, thank him for letting me vent, and then as I exhale, I'll be losing my enlarge reduce, and I will very much be venting with a gust of wind that I'd like to try and line up to blow the ooze off of my friend and see if I can't use the wind to pick up Anadoltia back up out of the floor. And I will be imposing disadvantage on the strength throw on the ooze with a heightened spell.
Okay. That is an efficient wind.
Efficient wind.
For starters, I'm gonna need you to make me a spellcasting ability check to try and because that's more of like a judge of power than anything to kind of pull Anadoltia up. So go ahead and make me Just a charisma check. 14, yeah. So you watch as Anadoltia gets lifted up a bit, not like pulled straight out of it, and even for a second it seems like she is, but I mean, she naturally kind of comes crashing back down and begins sinking again, but you kind of like refreshed Anadoltia's position, falling into the floor. And the ooze itself is going to roll a strength saving throw, which is +2/2. Whoop. And that actually is just going to barely succeed as you try and like. Oh, my apologies. Oh. Yeah. It still gets you as you go to push the ooze, hoping Victorious will remain stagnant. But then you watch as it kind of wiggles and jiggles a bit, but it does not budge. It is too large and kind of stuck on the ground in its current place. Anything else on your turn, Zewxip?
No, but you know what? I feel better, and we probably have a large ooze that's making flatulent noises with all this wind blowing around and through it. So I think I'm going to allow myself a little giggle and a laugh.
Yes, absolutely. The mood perhaps a little bit lightened from some of the heavier conversation you were having before with the barkeeper. And at this point, it's the ooze's turn. I need everyone except Rivi, who got thrown to the other side of the bar, to make me Constitution saving throws.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I'm not doing too good now.
Not too bad on the damage.
Do I take half? I'm assuming I take half.
You take half. All of you. Actually, wait, no. Yeah, you take half. The rest of you take the full points of damage. So Grilliam, you take 3. Everyone else, you take. The
Wait,
full 7.
Rivi didn't make a Constitution?
I'm sorry, I meant to say Grilliam. Grilliam
not
takes
in the
7.
not in
Everyone
the
else
thing,
takes
right?
3. Rivi's not in the
range. Okay.
Because he got thrown to the other side of the bar.
I'll just take 3 and do.
Yep. And all of you, as this kind of ooze splashes over you, you can feel just what looks like. It just feels like having a beer thrown at you, but it's like sickening and sour. And you instantly get like sharp headaches as you take damage from this creature. You, Grilliam, are fine, but Anadoltia and Zewxip are poisoned by the. You guys have like what suddenly feels like a terrible hangover. All right.
Surprised I don't have a hangover already with all the beer in my stomach.
You don't feel drunk even a little bit. Like it wasn't even alcohol, as you get the impression.
Damn.
That is going to bring us then in initiative. That's all for that creature's turn. Actually, it's going to roll to recharge. Whoop. Which it does not recharge. All right, that's going to bring us to, I believe it was Anadoltia next.
You said I was poisoned,
Yep.
Correct?
Yep. You're sinking into the floor.
I try to say exactly what poison does first.
Has disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks.
Ah, shit.
Hmm.
Okay, so, I don't think there's anything you can do about the floor, per se. But, trying to see, actually, I'm going to spend, 1 spell slot and cast, just use the effect from Sign of Ill Omen on the Ooze Booze.
Alright. What does that do?
It pretty much, casts Bestow Curse.
Okay, cool. So what is you cursing the Ooze Booze with?
I'm trying to decide that right now.
Ooh.
Actually, yeah, I think I know what I'm gonna have it do. I'm gonna have it. It has to make a Wisdom saving throw at the start of each of its turns. If it fails, it wastes its action on that turn doing nothing.
Well, as you know, and does this just happen, or does it have to make a save against?
It has to make a Wisdom saving throw or become cursed.
Okay, so it starts off by making a Wisdom saving throw to avoid the curse.
Yeah.
Okay. It's very wise.
But not wise enough!
Yes. Alright, so yeah, you have cursed this terrifying ooze. You sink further and further into the floor, though. And as your body's about halfway down, you feel something solid grab onto your ankle. just underneath the floor. And that's going to bring us next in initiative to Grilliam. What do you do, Grilliam?
Do I have at least enough time to say like something grabbed me?
Yeah, you just kind of like call out a shriek and then just yell at something grabbed you as we move on to Grilliam.
Do I still have my spiritual weapon with me? Because that only lasts about a minute.
No, the spiritual weapon would have been gone by now.
Okay, I was just making sure. So, I'm just gonna hold my hand out and let out a nice burning ray!
Scorching Ray?
Yep, Scorching Ray.
Excellent, fire away.
I have to make 3 attack rolls with this thing, because it's 3 attacks.
Yep.
Boom, boom, and boom.
And...
Crits!
Oh my god, nice!
So all 3 of those hit. Oh, yep. Doop, and boop.
All right, a grand total of 9 and another 10, 19 points of fire damage. Woof! You blast the the booze ooze. It bubbles and boils off, steam kind of coursing and kind of filling up the inside of the room. You watch as some of the ones that were like frozen before also kind of get taken up in the melting of it, not like freezing or anything. And you've done a huge chunk of damage to this thing. Yeah, it's starting to already dwindle a little bit. And that is all for your turn, I assume?
Yeah, I'm not gonna waste a bonus action.
Top of the initiative. Rivi's feeling better. What you doing, Rivi?
Okay, I can do this. Just one more shot. Hey!
Oh, what a monster. All right, roll damage on that.
No, I am not a monster. I am a human being, and it's very racist for you to
A kobold, no,
as a monster.
Question, a kobold being, not a human being. But still.
A humanoid being. There we go.
But a monster in the colloquial. What a terrifying combatant as you crit once more for another 19 points of damage. Oh my god, you guys are just tearing this booze apart. It has, like, I mean, it's an ooze, it's pretty hardy, but it's already looking like it's getting close to being defeated. And that's all for your turn, I assume, Rivi?
Yep.
That's gonna bring us then to Zewxip.
You know what happens when you drink too much beer? Oh, you start blowing chunks. I'm gonna continue to upkeep my gust of wind on the ooze.
Out of it. Yeah, Victorious is not looking in great shape.
I'm gonna continue to keep the gust of wind on the ooze and see if I can still reset or help. I don't know if it counts as an aid or whatever, Anadoltia from sinking or.
All right, yeah. So you're trying to get Anadoltia up again.
Well, if I can angle it so I'm catching the ooze and Anadoltia.
Yeah, same thing as last time.
Yes.
Go ahead and the ooze is going to make a strength save, which it has a +2/2. Which it should have been a 10. I assume that's not enough.
Correct. So it's blown 10 feet back.
And charisma.
I did in fact blow chunks of ooze.
That's a nasty joke.
And then just a charisma check to see if we can get Anadoltia up and out, as before. All right, you feel as the wind kind of comes up underneath you, Anadoltia, the wind kind of courses upwards, and you are wrenched once more up out of the strange floor from this odd spirit-like condition that you've been put under, and the hand kind of loses its grip on you that was trying to like pull you down underneath. You are just kind of regular sinking once again. That is that all for your turns, is it?
Correct.
Okay, in that case, that's going to bring us next initiative to Anadoltia, actually the Booze Ooze, which is going to make a wisdom saving throw to see if it can do anything.
And no, it cannot.
That's a no.
The ooze uses its action, just kind of glorping kind of harmlessly in the air. It was blown back, pushed against the wall, where it's kind of like splashed and scattered. And Victorious is just kind of standing in place, his heavy plate armor kind of keeping him locked on the ground. And Victorious just kind of like ducks and gets out of the way. And that's all for the Ooze Booze's turn. That's an effective spell. And that's going to bring us then to Grilliam. Or no, Anadoltia. What do you want to do, Anadoltia?
I want to use
We're no longer poisoned, by the way.
Yeah, I want to use the butterfly net.
On the booze.
On the boozoos.
All right, go ahead and make me an attack roll.
Turn it into a booze butterfly. I don't think a 10 hits.
A 10 absolutely hits. Oozes
Oh,
have
it does!
really good AC.
I am activating the command word.
All right. Whoop. D20 minus 2, which it fails. All right, yeah. So you kind of like swim over and are moving along the ground as best you can, and as you kind of get to it, you hit it with the butterfly net, and you watch as the ooze just kind of sucks into itself and gets sucked into Anadoltia's butterfly net, which just now rests on the ground with a small butterfly kind of sitting inside of it. And at this point, you watch the bartender kind of go over, seemingly like tricked, not understanding that the ooze is still there. Kind of goes over and just crosses out the ooze booze on the blackboard and just says "sold out."
Wait, what about spirit? Is the spirit crossed out?
Nope, that's still going. And Anadoltia, you sink into the floor, and once again, you feel a hand kind of grab at you, pulling you downwards. Grilliam, what do you want to do?
I don't have anything that... I don't think I have anything that can save...
Yeah, Anadoltia's weirdly falling through the floor.
You know,
I have a rope.
I don't think she can
I
grab
have 50
onto the
feet of
rope.
rope.
She can't grab onto the rope.
50 feet of rope has never failed me alongside the 10-foot pole.
The wind seemed to catch Anadoltia. It seems like she has some physicality, just not complete.
And everyone like a straw, we could like
So what do
suck
you
her
wanna
up,
do,
I guess. Don't know.
What do you want to
Can
do? Grilliam?
I-
What's the play?
Can I use Bless to help her?
Yeah,
I don't
absolutely.
know
You cast a spell of bless, empowering her with divine.
Yeah, I'm
energy.
gonna do that, and yeah, Zewxip and Rivi can have it just for shits and giggles.
Rivi's trying to like blow her up, but it's not powerful enough because it's like a very small
Yeah,
spell.
just a
This
very
guy,
little tiny
he's
puff.
trying, but he
Yeah.
can't quite get
He's
it.
doing the best, best he can, and you kind of bless Anadoltia. But that's gonna bring us next to Zewxip.
Repeatedly puffs wind at her.
Are you just gonna maintain the puff?
Yeah.
All right, another charisma check. Yep, you completely trounce whatever creature was pulling Anadoltia downwards, and Anadoltia just kind of buoyed to the surface once more, and that's gonna bring us to Anadoltia's turn. The Vuzuz is a butterfly.
In which I'm just gonna leave it on the ground as a butterfly in that butterfly
Assume-
net.
Yep.
How close are my allies to me currently?
You could like reach out and touch one.
That's not bad. That's alright. So anyways, she says she pretty much she's getting tired of whoever's trying to grab her. I'm going to assume it might be right under the floor again, get ready to grab me. So I am going to use my action to use Fey Presence to at least attempt to frighten it away.
Okay.
Is Fate present targeted or is everyone?
Everyone within a 10-foot cube or originating around me.
Okay.
All right.
So pretty much all of us.
There's
Lovely.
There are still some creatures underneath you that are frightened of you, but you definitely some of them are not.
I have to roll for it too.
Yeah, everyone there we go.
What's the saving throw?
15.
Zewxip and Rivi, you get a D4 added to this
get
if
the
you
extra
wish.
D4 from the
The creatures that fail get a choice between being charmed or frightened, so you can do both, right? Or is that for every creature at once?
I think that's for everything at once. But
Okay.
I can
Add it-
actually
add
say, because we're kind of wrapping up now, I'm gonna just give you guys a pass on this one and say that everyone
it's
but
a
the creatures
D4.
underneath trying to-
Oh.
I'm just gonna give you this one and say that the creatures underneath Anadoltia, because you're kind of sinking into the floor and they can't like see the full of it, and the creatures below bear the brunt of it. So I'm gonna give the other creatures around you just a free pass.
All right.
But yeah, I guess it scared away everything but 3.
No, everything but a bunch of them. You're 14, right?
15.
Oh, 15. Well, a whole bunch of them. At least the 15s, I'll get it. So there's a whole bunch of these things underneath you still, but you don't know that because you can't quite see them. And yeah, that's all for
Yes, that's all my action.
that's all for Anadoltia's turn. Rivi?
Okay, so wait, are the ghosty things gone now?
No, Anadoltia's still sinking into the floor.
Oh God, no. I guess I'll stand next to her and just start shooting at the floor under her, like not at her, but like at the floor. I guess. See if that does anything. Might as well try. Wait, no, I know what to do. I'm going to beg the spirits to let her go. Please let my friend go. I mean, I've accidentally shot her, but please.
All right,
Please let her go.
You beg the spirits as hard as you can to let your friend go. There's no immediate response.
Come on, go heart. I'm just a poor little kobold. Don't need no sympathy. Gonna me come. Easy go. A little high, a little low.
But we'll have to wait and see. Zewxip?
Oh, I always knew it was easy to pick people up at the bar, but... And I'm going to continue gusting.
All right.
Anadoltia.
Maintain
I love
the,
these puns.
Maintain the offensive. Swing away. Oh my god. Okay, yeah, with a crit, the gust of wind, you kind of have re-angled it to go straight up, so Anadoltia kind of flies upwards into the air, and as Anadoltia does so, she kind of comes down at an angle, and kind of crashes into you, Grilliam, and you realize that, as this happens, that Grilliam, you can touch her. You can just, like, grab onto her.
It worked!
Oh.
It worked! I did it!
But
My begging worked!
Isn't that gonna burn? But that'll burn her, I assume.
Yeah, but I think the fire damage is probably worth.
A sacrifice worth taking.
Yeah,
Grab
you
onto her.
Anadoltia off at some point. And Anadoltia, you still kind of like phase through the bar, but it looks like just the things in the bar are kind of affecting you.
Make sure your rephase not inside an object.
Only the things.
You don't want you being sliced in half. I know that
wait,
feels like
wait.
it's not fun.
All right, so could I request Max to put me back on top of Lady Molly?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I do that. I'm just gonna put him on top,
you are
and
now
so
resting on top of Molly, and the spirit on you kind of fades, and you watch as he goes over and crosses out the last drink, and all of them are now crossed off, and Victorious kind of leans forward expectantly, and the bartender kind of continues, kind of goes back to just polishing his glasses, just kind of standing there.
I guess we can try the door now. See if it opens.
Victorious kind of goes over and goes, "Oh yeah, good point. Let me see if I can get it." He goes over and there's just kind of nothing there, or the door's there, but he goes to like turn the handle and nothing happens. The bartender kind of leans down towards you, Zewxip, and goes, "Oh, by the way, Zewxip,
Yes.
I know you've mentioned that you're not one for the drink, but you've been so open with me this whole time, and I feel for your plight. I do have one more," and he kind of reaches down and just puts before you a small sealed vial that seems to be glittering a bright gold. This is one left I had in stock, and I'd like you to have it. Hands it to you.
We appreciate that sincerely, and we're sorry for any inconvenience that there may have been in this bar.
Oh, it's
It
been
is
a great
now-
night for business. No inconvenience at all. And he kind of smiles.
Oh, then you are extremely much more above just a sufficient tavern. In fact, I may even recommend others to come here at some point in time.
That would be
And
lovely.
I will open it. I will offer him a cheer, and I will drink it.
You drink it. You watch as your it's very kind of warm, and as you drink it, your kind of body begins to glow with a kind of a bright light, and that glow kind of first it kind of spreads out through, but then it seems to concentrate on your right hand or right vine, as the case may be.
you must touch the door with that hand. Or
The light-
Door.
It's
Go open
so
the door.
warm. I've never felt light like this inside of my.
Oh.
I'm gonna kind of wiggle and wobble over to the. I'm enjoying. I'm a blossomer. I light. I can eat light, and now that it's like coursing through me, this is better than a cup of water he could have given me. So I'm going to just sort of like hobble and wobble and maybe drool a little bit as I go over to as I like wave. I give a flourish and a wink to the bartender, and I'm going to go over to the door and open it.
Your hand goes to the door handle and it turns without issue. And Victorious, and as it does, all of the lights, all of the kind of torches in the bar just instantly kind of go out. The music stops, the conversation and the fireplace just kind of cut out, and you're just kind of in an empty bar. And the barkeeper just kind of vanishes, as do the patrons. And Victoria says, "Oh, hey, great work! We're done. Awesome. This has been that was a nightmarish room in this dungeon crawl. I've been told there's only about 8 or 9 more puzzles I should expect to encounter. So maybe I'll have to call you again as I'm working my way through. But hey, it was great drinking with all of you dudes."
Yeah, perfect. I think I'm getting a stomachache though.
And
I am going to avoid anything labeled eye opener and spirit ever again.
there's some lingering kind of full stomachs, and perhaps some odd sensations still left in the system, but you still the kind of soft glow coming from Zewxip's right hand. But Victorious thanks you all very much and hands each of you your fabled reward of 200 Bartholomew bucks, and with that you have completed our first adventure of the evening.
Yay.
Hooray!